Welcome, everybody. This is Dawn's 11 o'clock class. We are a level 3 class, which means we're starting to really work on arranging. And I'm going to push you a little bit this time. For those of you that had me in this class on a Wednesday over a year ago, you may remember that I did go a little bit overboard with Let It Be. Why? Because I can. No, this is just a really good song, and I actually made an arrangement for you, and what it does is it helps you to push the buttons on your instrument. So I will be putting this on Patreon along with the sheet, along with the worksheet, which some of you may have already printed out. I always do this week's worksheet and next week's worksheet. I also have for you today, so you'll have 4 worksheets to print out, an intro ending for Let It Be. I think you're going to like what's happening here. It's not a super difficult song, but what I'm doing is I'm actually going to put in a repeat dot, not in a place you'd expect, and send you back to the beginning of the song so we can make it longer and do some other things. Now, if the only thing you do with your arrangement is press a different preset every time you come to the end of a phrase, that's fine, because what you're doing is learning what those presets can do on your instrument. If you don't have presets, okay, and no, I'm not going to say see me after class. What you do then is you can either put your hand from the top keyboard to the bottom keyboard. Let's see, at least you got to see my keyboard here. Okay, from the top keyboard to the bottom keyboard. That's a little bit too much. Yeah, this is weird when I'm a couple of seconds off here. So you have a sound on top and on bottom. If you do not have that, then you can reach up to your right-hand side, and I'm talking about people with some of the smaller instruments. Then you can press different sounds to get different setups, okay? And I'm talking like Sue, I know you take notes for Carolyn. So I don't know if she takes notes from this class or not. But the Freedom 3s do not go to the lower keyboard, so in order to change a sound for the arrangement, you're going to have to press something. And it can be just as easy as pressing a duet button, because that changes the sound. It can be just as easy as adding an organ button, because that layers your sound with an organ, and so you're getting a new sound. So everything should be a one-button push. We are all about figuring out what your buttons on your instrument do and how to apply the song to your organ. Okay, so what do we know about Let It Be? This is a song. Oh, you need my face a little bit here. Yep, please be patient. This is really weird being a couple of seconds off. Let It Be is a song by the Beatles. It was written and sung by Paul McCartney and released as a single in 1970. It was their final single before Paul announced his departure from the band, so he could go solo. Now, he had an idea for the song after he had a dream about his mother. So a lot of people think this is about Mother Mary, and that he was a Catholic. Well, that's not true. He was Christian, but this was about his mother, Mary, his actual mother, Mary. And her name was Mary Patricia McCartney. And she died of cancer when Paul was 14. So she came to him in a dream, and that's where this song actually comes out. He was very troubled in his life at the time. So seeing his mother in a dream kind of absolutely helped him to make some of the decisions that he had to make in his life. So what are we actually featuring? Well, we're featuring a new arrangement and the new intro ending, which is actually something very easy, because basically I'm just doing this. Just coming right down the line. And I do have chords that go along with it, and you can do it one of 2 ways. You can just do your single-fingered chords here at the bottom, which I have written in, Or you can actually play the full fingered chord on the top keyboard and do something like this. Pretty, huh? Yeah. But you can also do it this way. You can do it with the rhythm. And what I'm using is easy 4/4, that's your soft and easy, or your smooth full band at 68. Anywhere between 64 and 68 is going to work, and I've got it here on the worksheet. Soft gospel also works. If you're on the Freedom 3, mellow, easy 8-beat is very good. Or your gospel guitar heaven is beautiful on this. I'm sure you can find 100 other rhythms on here that are going to work for this fabulous song. So I'm going to play it with my arrangement, and I just want you to listen and try to follow along, because I am going to write in a roadmap for us. We're going to go back and start the song, but it's not at the end. It's not at the place you would expect it to be. So here we go. Whoops, that's not the one I wanted. That was a good way to ruin a song. Press the wrong preset.
That was beautiful. Yeah.
But all I'm doing is building the arrangement by pressing some buttons. And so, yes, I will have this sheet on Patreon so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. But did you see where I went back?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I actually am splitting a measure. And you know, we are never supposed to do that. But on page 49, third line, right after in the second measure, I'm actually going to split that second measure right in the middle and put your repeat dots. And we're going to make a full measure on one side of the dots, and then we're going to make the whole thing a full measure the second time around. All right, and it's kind of tricky, but I'm going to put this up so you can kind of see what I did. And I wrote in a first and second ending, and as you can see, the first ending is right here, and I'm making this a dotted half note, which is 3 counts, and then putting your pickup notes next to it, which makes count 4. And there's your repeat dots, and that's going to take you, and I did write the first ending. Oh, this is weird because it's a couple seconds different. Wow. Okay. And it's going all the way back to here. So you want to put in your repeat dots right there. Okay? That's the first time you play it. Then the second time you play it, now you're going to forget about those repeat dots because that second ending is that whole measure. Because there's your pickup notes, and you just keep on going. So if you can kind of write that in, I'll leave that there for a little bit so you can write that in. It is a little tricky, but you can do it.
I see. Mm-hmm.
Any questions on that?
No.
Okay, good, good. It's not that hard. It's just kind of difficult to show it without actually having it right there in front of me. You're splitting that measure, and you're actually making the first time, that first half of the measure is a whole measure. The second time, it is that whole measure, and then you just keep going to finish the song.
And your repeat dots were on the third line, first measure.
First line,
Second.
it's the third line.
Third line. Yeah, third
Second-
line,
Second measure.
first measure.
It's the second measure.
Second.
You're splitting that second measure.
With
Can you
the,
see it?
I got I'm in the wrong spot.
Okay.
That's why. Got it. Okay.
You're splitting the second measure, and you're turning the first half of that split into a complete measure. And then as you can see, the second ending, then that measure goes back to being just a regular measure. You just have to play it the way you know it. Because we never ever put repeat dots in the middle of a measure, but what I did is I created my own new measure. Okay?
Okay.
It was more like the original, so that's why I did that.
So, Dawn,
Yeah.
if we email you, can you send me a copy of that? Because I don't have a copy of any of this stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Absolutely. Feel free to email me and ask me any questions about this, or if you need me to send that, I can, so that you can actually
Yeah, I
copy
don't
it.
have, all I got is a black book. There's all, that's all I got.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't have anything else other than the big black Lowry book.
yeah. No, this one is from book number 15. This one is actually in, this class is working with this book right here, Simple Songs.
Oh, okay. I don't have that one at all.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
I don't know if I'm ready for that or not, but we'll try it out.
You probably are, Mary. You probably are. There's some beautiful songs in here.
Yeah.
Okay, now I did add some chords. So are there any questions now about the roadmap?
No.
Nope, we got it? Okay. Now, as far as adding extra chords, all I added was this little thing right here, the doohickey right here that does this. Okay, at the end of each phrase, instead of just going from the F to the C, so line 3, first page, line 3, first measure. The F chord is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 is an E minor, which is E and G, and beat 4 is a D minor, D and F. So you're going F, E minor, D minor, C. Now we're going to repeat that, the first page, 5th line, all the way down, last line on the page, second measure. The F chord is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 is an E minor, E and G, and beat 4 is a D minor, D and F, going to the C. Bum, 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 bum. We're going to do that one more time. Second page, 3rd line, first measure. The F is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 is an E minor, E and G, and beat 4 is a D minor, D and F. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry, one more time. I've missed this one. Last line, second measure at the end of the song before we go into the ending. The F is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 is an E minor, E and G, and beat 4 is a D minor, D and F. And I liked that 70s piano, which is pretty much what I started with. All right, where's my...
Dawn, what's C minor chords? I don't, E minor, what do I hit for E minor?
E minor is E and G. Remember the rules for the minors. Let's take that off and just put on easy. It's the letter plus 3 up the keyboard. 1, 2, 3. So it's E and G, and your fingers are third and thumb. And then the D minor is D and F, fourth finger and second finger, pointer.
Yeah.
Okay.
E and G is
E and G is E minor.
1, 3 finger, thumb and third finger.
And you're going to need that also for your intro. You're going to need an E minor and D minor chord. But it is on your worksheet, and I tell you which letter's on there. And if you need fingering for that, hopefully you've got copies of my chord chart, because my chord chart gives you the actual numbers of the fingers. And remember, it's always thumb is 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it counts backwards from what your right hand is,
Right.
because your hands are mirrors of each other. As far as sounds, please feel free to use any sound that you like. As you know, Paul McCartney played guitar, so a guitar would be absolutely fabulous. I just chose the 70s piano because I like that sound. That's the one that I chose, but you can use whatever you want. All right, let's talk about where. I'm going to give you some A1, A2, if you're memorizing presets. And again, if you have questions on this, ask me in the workshop this afternoon at 1 o'clock, because that's what we're going to work on is how to record a song. Maybe I'll even do this one. And if we have questions on the presets, we can talk about that as well, because recording is actually so easy. I'm going to be able to teach you that in 10 minutes, guaranteed. Guaranteed. It's so easy. You can all do it.
Yeah. I gotta do it before January.
You can do it after today's class. You'll be able to do it, no problem. Okay, so actually I went to song setup. Always try your song setup. Now it's at easy 4/4 at 68. Now, if you count 68 beats a minute, if you count that and play it in real time, it's going to be super slow. If I actually play it, that's too slow. So what I'm doing is I'm playing it in double time or cut time. So what I'm doing is I'm counting it 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. Double it when you count, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just feel it. Feeling it is the best advice I can ever give you. Play it the way you would sing it, and you will be right. Okay, so your first preset is going to be for the introduction and the first part of the song. At measure 16, and I've got all kinds of things that I want you to do. You're going to take off the intro because no introduction. You're going to turn off your orchestra plus. You're going to take your drums volume all the way to 0 because there's no drums going on right now, is there? You're going to turn off the lower tabs, so all you have is the bass. You have bass and drums and that piano guy doing its stuff. So the only thing that's really happening when you change chords, you're going to hear the bass line. You're not really going to hear that humming chord. That's a little bit awkward for some of you, but try it because it will work. All right, measure 16. Measure 16, if you count full measures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The last measure on the first page is measure 16. Now you can put a little 16 and circle it if you want, or you can put a 2, because that's where you're going to press your next preset. Or if you don't have presets, that's where you're going to change something. Change something. Well, what am I actually doing? I am adding the lower chord sound. So for the first part of the song, those first 16 measures, we play with no chord sound. You have the bass and you have that piano player. When you get to measure 16 and you add the lower chord sound, for some of you it says left, for some of you it's lower ensemble over here. Most of you have it on tabs. You just turn your tabs on. Now when I play a chord, you can hear the humming, right? And that fills in the song a little bit.
Dawn, may I ask a question?
You certainly may.
Okay, A2 is, you're changing the preset there. You said add it to the lower keyboard.
Yes.
Add what?
Lower tabs. Your lower
lower
tabs on the big
okay.
instruments, that turns on. For the first one, you're going to turn your tabs off so you don't hear it. For the second one, you're just going to do one button push. Now, if you're memorizing your presets, it doesn't matter. You just follow the instructions.
Okay.
And then save your preset.
Okay.
Okay, and if you don't want to save presets, just add your lower tabs. That's all you have to do. Sometimes the arrangement can be easier than you think it is. Just add, if some of you have a lower left or a lower sound, you can just touch that and it will add that sound. So we're going to go from here, speaking words of wisdom, line 4, end of the line. Now I'm going to touch preset 2 or my lower. The only thing that's different is I've got more sound going on down here. Okay, now that new measure that we created, that new little measure that we created when we divided that line 3, measure 2, that's actually measure 24. So if you want to write in 24, you can, or you can write in A3, right there, A3. Write small, because you got lots of other stuff to write. What am I doing different in A3? Well, in A3, you're going to add your drums all the way to the top. So you're going to turn your drums on. And if you don't have presets or you don't want to use them, you might want to add a fill-in just to give yourself some time to push those drums all the way to the top, because you're adding your drums. You also want to add in your harmony, which is going to be duet. So I'm adding drums to the lower and I'm adding harmony to the upper. So when I get to, and now I'm going to go back to the beginning and repeat. Okay, now we're at measure 16 again. You can write in A4. You've got A2 and A4 in the same place. So what am I going to do now to my arrangement to make it a little different? All right, if you have a drum variation, that's what you're going to do, is you're going to add the drum variation. So you're going to give your drummer something different to do, just to change up the arrangement a little bit. Now remember, if this is going a little bit over your head, don't worry about it. Pick a rhythm, pick a sound, and play. and just have a wonderful time at it. And then I'm also going to add some strings, one of my tabs, to the piano that's on top. So when I get to measure 16, I get this. Different drummer and some strings up here. All right, now we're at measure 24 again, but we're moving forward. We're moving forward. So you can put along with, what do you have there? A3, I believe. You're also going to add A5. Just know that every time you get to the end of a section, you're going to do something different. So what am I doing now? I am going to add some brass. And all I'm doing is I'm not going down here at all. So I'm taking the brass that was down here. Oops, that wasn't brass down there. But I'm adding it to the upper so that I actually get, I'm turning my Genius 1 into some brass to combine with the strings and the vocals. I'm just making it thicker. And I'm going to continue playing the last 3 lines.
Daun.
Okay?
Daun, may I ask
Questions?
another question?
You may.
Okay, the Genius 1, is that, how did you add the brass? You put, it comes up on the screen and
Genius
you,
1. It was in Genius 1, and I
Okay.
put it in, I just gave the command to go to the upper.
oh, all right.
Okay? You have to watch your commands. Now, this is, it's not a Genius 1 on the marquees and grand marquees and Inspires and Rialtos. It's a sound. It's a solo sound, and you just want to make sure you make that command to go up. Now, what are you doing? You're adding that to what you already have going to the upper keyboard.
So the same applies to the Liberty?
The same applies to a Liberty. The same applies to the Sterling. The same applies to everything. Although it's not going to say sound, in your case, it's going to say solo, Blue Genius 1, and you just tell it where it's going. All we're trying to do is get you comfortable with finding where the buttons are and adding sounds. Every time we played a new section of this song, we added something to the lower and to the upper.
Okay.
We added a duet. We added a string tab. We added a brass sound that was already there. We just needed to tell it where it was supposed to go.
From the lower to the upper.
Correct.
I
Yep.
got you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have questions?
Not right now.
If you're not
I
quite
didn't know
ready
that.
for all of these button pushing techniques, don't worry too much about it. This is such a nice song that you might want to try it. For those of you that have the capability of memorizing presets, and that would start with the fanfare, try it. I know this is level 3. If you're not quite ready for this, don't worry about it. Pick a rhythm and play. Go to your song setup and play. And that's it. And just enjoy the song. It's that nice of a song, and it's an easy song to play. This truly is a good one.
Dawn,
Yes.
when you mentioned you're doubling the tempo, you didn't want it at 68. Does that mean you set it for 138 and you'll get what it?
No,
Yeah.
you're not setting it for 138. If you set it for 136 or whatever doubling it is, then it's going to sound weird. Here's what it's doing at 68. You're just playing it in double time. If I were to actually set this, let's go to my keypad. It would be what, 136?
136.
That doesn't sound good, does it?
That's
No,
her.
it does not.
Yeah.
Nope. So you can't do that. So if it sounds goofy, it's counting 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're actually going to count it in your head 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sing the song to the background. That's the best advice I can give you on anything.
But still set it up 68.
You have it set at 68, yes.
Yeah.
You're just playing it in double time.
Okay, I gotta figure that out, how I can set it at 68.
You set it at 68 and just play it. I wouldn't even bother looking at this. Don't even bother looking at your red dots going around, because your red and green. All you want to do is sing the song to it. You'll feel it. You will feel it.
Okay,
Yeah.
try that.
Don't get too caught up ever in the counting, because when you do that, now you're thinking about counting and you're not thinking about how the song should actually go. You want to think musically. You're looking for a rhythm, for a band, for a rhythm plus orchestration, for a music style that makes you feel like singing the song.
Okay, good. Okay, I'll have to try that.
Mary, I know what you're thinking, because it took me probably 6 or 7 months to figure it out.
Yeah, I think so. Double the tempo, you know.
You just hum along with it, like Dawn said.
That's
does
it.
help.
That's it. You have to absolutely just sing along with that rhythm, because remember, this is your singing hand. So if you can sing it here, if you can sing it here and here, then you can sing it here, because that's basically all you're doing. This is your band. This is your band. And you want your band to sound like the original. That's what we're looking for. Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome. Yep, you're so welcome. So yeah, if that's a little bit too much information for you, don't worry. Pick a rhythm and play it and go and sing along with it, and just play it with one sound for the entire song. That's fine. Or poke a button. If you get sick of one sound, poke a button where you feel like it, because you'll feel it. At the end of a section is the natural place to change up the sound a little bit, or
Yeah,
to add a
I do
duet.
that anyway. I do that anyway. Especially when I check
Exactly.
three verse, I'll play each verse with a different sound.
Mhm. And that's called making your own arrangement. And that's what we're starting to do in level 3. Level 1 and level 2 are more about getting these fingers comfortable on the keys. And then level 3, we're starting to put that arrangement on your instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I've been doing it, but not realizing I'm doing it.
Not really even realizing it. Yep. Yep. Most of you do that naturally. Absolutely. Any other questions? All right, let's do some fingering, and then we can actually all play together, and I'll slow this all down. All right. Fingering. G2, 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 G2. A3. E1. G2, G2. C3. D4. E5, E5, E5. D4. D4. C3, C3. E4, E4. F5, E4. E4, D3. E4, D3. D3, C2. G1, G1, G1. A2, C4. G1, G1. You might want to put a little arrow on the next C. It's a 2. C2, D3. Next line, D3. E4, E4. D3, D3. C2, C2. E4, E4. F5. E4. E4. D3. E4, D3, D3, C2. The last two notes, E3, D2. Let's go to, here comes Genevieve. A little bit late, but better late than never. Top of the second page. C1, E2, G4, A5, G4, 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 E3, D2, C1, A2. Circle it. That is your crossover. G1, second line, E5, C3, check mark. E4, E4, F5, E4, E4, D3, E4, D3, D3, C2. Now, if you want to put a little check mark there, you can. The two pickup notes that we wrote in on that new measure that we just made, those are twos. If you continue on the second ending, it's the high E is 3, D is 2, and underneath the A minor chord, C is 1. E2, G4, A5, G4, G4, G4. Next line, E3, D2, C1, A2, circle it, that's a crossover. G1, E5, C3, E4, E4, F5, E4. Last line, E4, D3, E4, D3, D3, C2. Any questions? Okay, I'm going to play it. Let's play it on a basic country and go real slow. Hopefully this will work here. Nope, that's not going to work. I need to go here. All right. I'm going to try this.
Dawn, did you say this was in song setup?
It should be in song setup, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know. Eric came today.
Oh, he did? Oh. So you can't participate right now.
Well, I'm enjoying. Lucy,
Okay. All right. I may have to do this one in actual double time. Let's see. Find myself in times. Okay, let's do this. Da, 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 da. Okay, that'll work. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not going to worry about intros and endings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then we start. Okay, and if you want to play along, let's play along with me. One hand at a time is all you need. I want to make sure you get this road map though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. One, two. Top of the second page. One, two, three. Back to the beginning. top of the page. Now we're going to keep going. And then you can just go into your ending. If you want to push your ending, that's fine when you're playing. Otherwise, you can go to your ending. Questions?
Dawn, what tempo did you play that on? That
One was 86, and I played it in real time.
Okay, good. Well, that'd be better than 68 probably. Yeah, thank you.
Because 68, you actually have to play it in double time. But it always, always, how it feels. How fast can you sing it? Does it sing right when does it sing well when you're at that tempo?
Yeah.
You can slow it down or speed it up to where you need it to be, but it has to feel right.
Okay, thank you.
Always, always use your ears as your final judgment.
Well, the ears are going deaf right now. But I bought a hearing aid that doesn't work. I think that just works half afternoon, and then it didn't work any of the other times. Kept falling out.
Oh boy, wow, those would be hard to get used to. I don't know if I could do that. Wow, someday I might. Who knows? Okay, so you're going to have 4 sheets from Patreon. You're going to have this week's song, the worksheet. You're going to have next week's song, which is Let It Go. Let It Go from Frozen. That's actually a really fun song. I was very unaware of it because I never saw the movie, but after listening to it on YouTube over and over and over and watching the little cartoon, it gets in your head. It really does. It's addicting. So we'll do Let It Go. I'm also going to send you the intro, which is the top 2 lines, and the ending, which is the bottom 2 lines. And they're very easy, so I think this will be a nice addition.
Uh-huh.
And I will also give you, if you wish, the optional advanced arrangement. Okay? And all this is doing is it's getting you to start pushing the buttons on your instrument. That's what it's designed for. Just to find things. Where are things? And what do they actually do? Now, if you have problems finding something, do not hesitate to email me and ask me, or call me and ask me, where do I find this on my organ? I'm not finding it. What does that actually do for me anyway? Okay, because that's what we're doing as well, as learning what your instrument can do for you. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
You guys are awesome. You really are.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for putting up with me today, because I'm watching myself, and again, this is weird. I blink my eyes, and then on the screen, I blink my eyes.
Instant replay.
I've never had this disconnection with the picture and the words before, so that's technology for you, I guess. You guys are fabulous. We will see you next week. Hopefully we'll see some of you online at 1 o'clock Florida time. I'm also doing it in store. We're going to learn how to record your songs. Okay? So, and we'll talk a little bit about presets as well. We'll embellish on what Robert did a couple weeks ago. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
See
right.
you all next time.
Bye now. Bye-bye.
Okay.